The scientific community has missed something big. Everyone is talking about solar, wind, hydropower, geothermal, but they forget about the largest source of renewable energy on this planet. But we have not. You all have refrigerators in your house. It has an electric cord going to the plug, which powers that refrigerator. And it operates a heat pump that pumps heat from a 40-degree box out into an 80-degree room. Well, imagine if that cycle is completely reversed. If you had an 80-degree heat source and a 40-degree heat sink, could you use that heat source with that heat sink and have power coming out of that cord? That's what ocean thermal energy is. Now, in reality, there are a lot of details that make up an economical plant, but if you can imagine a refrigerator, you can imagine an ocean thermal plant. The history of ocean thermal energy goes back to a Frenchman named d'Arsonval, who had a student, George Claude, and he first tried to do an ocean thermal energy plant, which used the warm surface water as a heat source and the cold, deep water, the ice-cold water, as a heat sink. My father became interested in this when he was in college. A man who had geothermal fields hired us to design a hot water geothermal power plant, because he realized what we were doing with ocean thermal energy was very much the same as his problems having hot water in the ground. This turned out to be an 11.2 megawatt hot water geothermal power plant. And as far as I know, to this day, that was the best design and most efficient geothermal power plant ever built. He also realized that with the improvements in refrigerants, that we might be able to make an ocean thermal plant using refrigeration technology.
When my father and grandfather first talked to the government back in the 1970s, the government approved a lot of research money to large defense contractors, such as Lockheed Martin, TRW. Those groups decided it was best to use off-the-shelf components in their design. But the result was that their estimated cost of electricity was simply too high to be competitive. My father and grandfather knew from the very beginning that they needed a custom designed structure and core components to work with the optimized thermodynamic cycle that we use in our design. So we have a very different design and a very different estimated cost of electricity.
We have put much of our piping underwater, which also serves to keep the structure stable as it's below the level of wave movement. Our spar-style structure is being designed to handle Category 5 hurricanes.
Besides Sea Solar Power, my father and I own several technology companies. This 65,000 square foot facility I'm in is home to Sea Solar Power, Coupling Corporation, and Tritech, where we design, test, and manufacture our products every day and ship them out to the world. We are continuing to invest engineering and testing resources into Sea Solar Power because we believe that the technology we've developed over many decades will completely revolutionize the renewable energy industry.
OTEC, or Ocean Thermal Energy Conversion, is truly the only renewable energy source that can provide baseload 24/7 power.
I believe what we need is for investors to understand the income potential this has. Then I believe we'll be off to the races. Investors can make a lot of money selling electricity, even to very conservative utilities.
The most immediate application is to provide power to tropical island nations that are currently importing expensive diesel oil for power. But we're also looking more broadly at OTEC. FPSO tiebacks, they're floating production, storage, and offloading facilities used by the oil and gas industry. There's some interest in using a Sea Solar Power plant to power these remote tiebacks, save on expensive long-distance high-power submarine cables, collect carbon credits, and have more oil and gas to sell.
The biggest question is, when are we ready to start implementing ocean thermal energy? And we say, we're ready when you are. We're ready now.